Why hello there, fellow pilgrims and stalwarts. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens. Episode 69, Building Traps for the Insects. Now, we have a bit of a breather. Seems like a good time to do another voting session. I know it hasn't been very long since the last one, but let's kick it off to voting session number 32. The Stalwarts demand that charity become essential to their ideology, and the Pilgrims demand that 4 hydroponic benches be dedicated towards biosculpting medicine, which is currently already true, but this would be a requirement going forwards, that there would always be benches dedicated. And this is the voting session number 32, occurring the 5th of December, year 6. So as far as the scope goes for the current priority of resource scanning, I think we'll keep resource scanning until we at least find uranium so that all the strategic resources that we need for the colony to survive have been found. I think that's a pretty reasonable goalpost to make. And it looks to me like 4 hydroponic benches dedicated towards biosculpting medicine is going to be the winner here. So as long as there is glitteroidalism or neutral flower being grown in at least 4 benches, that satisfies the requirement, and the Pilgrims have won that poll. And there hasn't been any changes to the faction politics, but one could suspect the Stalwarts are getting a little nervous, to say the least. The ETA to the next surge is about a week. Looks good. It also seems to me like our stockpile is getting frighteningly full. Some of the resources in the stockpile, like steel and blocks, don't really need to be in there. So I might want to employ some sort of outside overflow stockpile. And here seems to be a pretty good spot as any, because this is like in the base or whatever. So this is going to be a preferred stockpile for steel, iron, coal, and blocks. And we'll name this the raw resource stockpile. Yeah, there's a bunch of clothing on the shelves. A lot of those the pieces of clothing there are like good enough to be kept. One of the things that I could do is to change the threshold here so that the threshold is like 90% plus, and that will significantly, at least for parkas, will significantly change the amount of parkas that we craft. Also for toques. So I guess tribal we don't have a surplus of, but parkas and toques we have loads of. Ah, we found wood. It's just north of the last wood spot. Still hoping for uranium. Zeusin, you want to preach health to Madsen again? Might as well. There's about 170 steel worth in that siege site. Given that we have 1,700 in stock, really, I'm not all that concerned. I think I'm going to move this iron drill down to the gold spot and start stocking a little bit of gold. If we get inspirations for royal beds, or we need to make more advanced components, or possibly arc upgrades, having more gold would be nice. Alright, yeah, that's perfect use of our raw resources. And now it's far less congested in the stockroom. Let's go ahead and rearm both of the mortar barrels, and then I think I'm going to destroy some of the extra mortars, the barrels that we have. I don't need 17 barrels. That's kind of absurd. So, Winter, that's going to be up to you. One of the reasons to do this is the mortar barrels cost a lot. They're adding colony value. I don't need to have artificially inflated colony value due to wiping out the siege sites. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm getting rid of them. I don't want them rehauled. So let's bring our reinforced barrels down to, like, I don't know, 6 or something. That should be fine. Is the prisoner sufficiently insulated for the recruitment? Yeah. They would have died otherwise. They are good. Actually, they're better insulated than we are. Because they came in with, like, sheep wool stuff. There goes the barrels. I'm curious if it was enough colony wealth to even see it in the chart. We see a dip in colony wealth. Oh, yeah, yeah. Look at that. We dropped 5,000 worth of wealth from just getting rid of some barrels we weren't going to use. Pretty reasonable to me. One could make the argument that amassing the gold in the way that I am is equally somewhat of a bad idea. And honestly, I would agree with that. It's just, I think we're going to use some of it at least. So Axios is T-minus 6 days. And cheers. Barrera here is very close to being recruited. Only have 4 resistance left. So we already chipped away 12 resistance off of her feelings, if you will. And right after Axios gets out, we'll be ready to power surge. Down to 2.7. I'm bad at remembering the walls. At least I do eventually, right? So I think the scanning resources can probably double up with another project. So I'm going to queue up one more project on top of this. Because one just requires 2 of our researchers. So we can build a new farm, upgrade the Ark, is kind of a hard one to... I left it in there, but really that's just like running one more power surge. There is improvements that could be made or defensive entrance. I could continue to construct anti-sap or anti-breacher defenses by putting in turrets into the voids here, so that these voids aren't attractive to sappers and breachers. If you're a stalwart, you can vote on constructing sleep accelerators, because they're preferred by our stalwarts. And if you're a pilgrim, you can vote on constructing insect traps, because our pilgrims don't mind insect meat for food, and then also, of course, you know, it's a fuel source for our arc. We could expand the battery bank if you want more batteries. I could make a television or make bionics. And as far as bionics go, Cardinal could use a foot. Wishbringer, Madsen could use a foot. Sheep could use a foot. Bryza could use an arm. It's just a single digit, so it's pretty non-serious in the scheme of things, but I'd figure I'd offer it up as a potential pull. So have you vote on that for another minute. I would say our chem fuel's up a pretty good amount, so I'm gonna flick this stuff off. Not worry about it for a minute. Ooh, yes. It hadn't occurred to me, but yeah, that is a really, really, really cold spot to be mining. Wood. More wood. Found almost where our iron is up there. So it's convenient to tap. It actually shares a wall. But it's really far away from the base, so I don't really like to have to run that far out. It looks like constructing insect traps is the priority. So, let's think about that logically. The insects want to spawn in Overhead Mountain. The Overhead Mountain temperature needs to be above -17. So I need to create a zone up here where insects can spawn, where it's sufficiently warm. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, so that I don't necessarily compromise the coal area, I'm going to mine a secondary zone to bait insects into spawning. And I think the way I want to do this is to set it up so that they freeze to death pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and turn on the mining tunnels up here, because it's honestly too cold without power, and it should be illuminated anyway as it is a work zone. Turn off the coal deep drill. And we're going to want to make a few heaters to heat the area. So I'm going to get some heaters made locally, which also means getting the components replaced for the heaters. So upgrading the priority is scan for uranium and make insect traps. So the reason I'm smoothing out the surfaces in this section of the tunnel is so that the this section is repairable, so that the insects can't easily, like, destroy their way into our base. Another thing I wanted to do is to remove this slate door entirely and to have our mining tunnel take a separate route so that this this area is removed from being commonly walked. Also probably means that switch needs to be changed to position, because otherwise the insects are just going to just destroy it. For now, I'm just going to put the heaters up there, but eventually they're going to be placed more strategically. I just know I need to heat the area so that the people working on this insect trap aren't frozen to death. Just updating the home zone. There we go. I hate how RimWorld does auto home zones, where it like adds way more than I would want in. But then updating it manually is also annoying. I know there's mods for it, but whatever. This is fine. Alright, you should be recruited. Oh, 0.1? You kidding me? Next time we talk, you'll be joining. Alright, let's take a look at the power grid. I see the problem. Need to replace that hidden conduit. There we go. So now this is heated. So when the bugs get aggroed, they'll be driven down this way. And what I'm hoping to do is designed in such a way that the bugs are far more likely to freeze themselves to death than they are to, like, attack anyone. So it's going to look a little weird, but we're going to use wood, which means I'm going to need to deep drill some wood. It'll make sense once it's done. So in this spot, I'm going to have a plasteel door. It's kind of important that it's plasteel. There we go. And I'm going to have wooden walls down like this, so that really when the insects spawn around here, any single one of these wooden walls exposes them to the ambient temperature. So they punch out any wall and they'll freeze quickly. And then I'll just mine out a section out here to make it a little bit larger. But basically it's set up so that they kill themselves, ideally. And we can arm this trap to really only run in the winters when the ambient temperature is well cold enough to have them perish. I think that's very reasonable. And then this whole section is overhead mountain. And then once we're done, we're just going to put a bunch of heaters in there. Knowing that the heaters are going to be destroyed. Wow, wood again, huh? Knowing that the heaters are going to be destroyed in the process, but it's a conversion of, like, steel and components to fuel. Not a terrible conversion ratio, and it also depends on, you know, how aggro the bugs are, so the bugs might not do it. Now, there is the possibility of putting the heaters behind vents, but vents are also targeted by bugs. So, like... And the vents are not 100% efficient. Oh, alright. Pretty weak weapons. Pretty strong weapons. So the ones to watch out for is Nicole here. And Dave. Both of whom are very poorly insulated from temperature. Copy that. Alright. Rally into the hospital. I might try to lure these attackers to take like a long route into the base. I don't have a direct door that I can, like, swing open. But maybe Fishpick will prop these two doors open, giving them a valid path in from here, which is, like, the opposite side of our kill box. Because I'd rather not be triple launched, if I can help it. So I'll take pot shots at the raiders coming in, but Nicole is pretty forward in the raiding party, so it's going to be hard to shoot at Nicole without problems. Also, I'm not entirely sure where these other guys are going. They're like spreading out in a really weird way that doesn't actually make all that much sense to me. I guess we'll see as it plays out. Now, if I wanted to, I could sacrifice the mini turrets in order to try to bait out the triple launchers, but I'm not really sure I want to do that either. That's a pretty expensive thing to do. Although what I could do is temporarily turn them on, shoot at Nicole like this, driving her back, and it worked perfectly. And then she tries to position to fire on the mini turrets, and then is behind the lines. And we just did the same thing with Dave. Alright, Madsen, I need you over here. And Fishpick, you can prop that door open. I really do not know... Oh, you know what? I know what they're doing. This door isn't built, so they're trying to get into the base through that door up there, because it never actually got constructed. Fishpick, go race them up that way. Alright, Dave is down. Nicole is not engaging directly. Ironhead spot is unideal, but Jack's gonna get killed by Madsen, and then we can tend to that. Alright, Zeusin, you're gonna need to back up. You're about to lose that leg. Luckily, the doctor is in just a moment. Alright, so here comes Nicole. That's a concern. I'm going to have Cardinal try to aim for Nicole. Oh, you can't even see Nicole. Come on, Madsen, finish up. The dude is... Oh, he's go-juiced. That explains a lot. And then Fishpick is racing Shepard and Paulo. Alright, mini turrets turned on. Nicole is dead. Madsen killed Jack, who got in. Zeusin's getting healed. Cardinal, I shouldn't have undrafted you. That's my bad. And that headshot is my fault. I don't know how that happened. Fishpick is easily beat these guys to the punch. So this other raid party is going to have to take the long way in. Alright, Cardinal, if you hide... Oh, Ironhead dropped his weapon because it got so cold he couldn't even hold it anymore. Hilarious. And then Winter, you got shot once by a minigun. So this is the second group here coming in. Tin Man, you're down but not dead. Down but not dead. Okay, I don't want either of them. Winner took another hit. Let's have you take cover. This firing angle is not ideal. I could try to engineer it so they can't get access to that. Why are you attacking a random wall? Oh, sheep took a hit. One way to do that is to build walls out this way, so they can stand back here, but it will limit the range that they have access to, unless they have particularly long-range weapons, which most raiders don't have really long-range weapons, so it will play to our favor. Alright, here comes group 2. JD with Inspired Creativity. Is that any useful? No. Art 4. Yeah, okay, I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to fall back to the inner city now. Fish is ready to brawl this dude coming in, and that will allow our people to warm up. They really don't have a lot of, like, people left attacking, so I'm not that concerned. Cleanup will be pretty... Yep, they're already fleeing. Nervous, slothful, chemical interest? Wow, you're terrible. Neurotic, jealous? Woof. Okay, it only gets worse. Winner, you want to have the honors of cleaning up the corpses? Go for it. Oh my god, you're shooting. Okay. You obviously need help. What the hell kind of fleeing is that? Get Get the hell out of here. Alright, well, there we go. Another raid defended. This door can be closed. We never really used that path. Sorry, Rogie, I'm gonna have to wake you up, make you do that. And then Madsen. You are gonna tend everybody in the hospital. Barrera has joined. So, you are gonna be our newest pilgrim. You had a birthday recently, didn't you? No, not that recent. And let's do a giveaway for it. So, giveaway timer is up. Barrera here can actually pick up your bio-coated shotgun that has 7% left because we don't actually have a weapon for you at the moment. But let's go ahead and give you close pilgrim zones. Pilgrim scheduling. And work priorities. You don't actually functionally contribute to our colony all that much, to be honest. But that's fine. Having another shooter is kind of nice. I think it goes without saying we're going to make another assault rifle for the newbie. So we'll get Zeus in on that in a moment. Cheers. And we have a lot of cleanup to do. Hey, winner! Looky, looky! There's more people for you to kill. Let's max that mood of yours. Nope, too late. Why are these lights off? What happened? Brownout? Ah, brownout. I'm just gonna briefly queue it up to like way power excess to charge up the batteries, and then I'll reduce it back down to a way more reasonable level. There's really no need for brownout, so having variable power is very nice. And one of your first duties, as the newest recruit, is going to be to burn bodies. I know. Pulling short straw and all, but that's just how it is. Oh, good. I'm glad to know that you can throw very incapably. It's like throw directly on yourself. Now, it's currently gentle snow, so I'm not going to be able to burn any bodies that aren't under roof cover. But at least we'll get the process started. That looks like it was good medicine, wasn't it? I don't think I assigned you the proper assignments. Pilgrim drugs, breeding policies. Alright, now you're all set. Did I leave Rogie accidentally drafted? I think I did. Big oops. Yeah, she took a base tour, set herself on fire, and immediately went to the hospital. I mean, it's one way to learn the lay of the land, I guess? It's probably there's a healthier way to do it, though. Alright, batteries look pretty topped up, so we'll go back down to 120%. So we don't burn up all of our chem fuel. Power Surge ETA is 3 days. Axios is out in 1 day. I allowed all of the people around here to be hauled so that we can clean up corpses a little bit sooner, so I don't have to wait for the snow. And we're still in the process of hooking this up for bugs, but you can see the zone here is primed and ready. Congratulations, Tannering. You're the newest colonist. Let's have you fix your style. There we go. We got a 6 and 6. So again, just to look at Tannering. Brought in Tannering because Tannering is a fast learner who is kind, really good in shooting, pretty good in social. Thought it was a pretty reasonable person to recruit. Good traits and all. Fast learner is quite a good trait, in my opinion. And your assault rifle's all set. Excellent quality, too, so you're in for a treat. Been a long time with you not having a pawn? Well, I'm glad you're back. Boy, is there a lot of repairs to do. I'm also having Zeus'in just stockpile a few extra tribalware, just so that we don't have need of any for a bit. Awesome. Now, we are going to owe a pilgrim another biotuning and bioregeneration. So I'm going to kick that off. And then also, let's make medicine forever, too. Put that in the queue. I'd rather have medicine than herbal meds. So once Axios is done, we'll uninstall the Biosculptor pod, install the new one in the sterile zone, and get someone else to go through the cycle. Which is almost certainly going to be JD. Unless we put Axios back through it, because the other pilgrims don't have health problems. It's just really Axios and JD vying for who's the most broken. Oh, also, before I forget, yeah, you need a bedroom, don't you? You probably do. So, there's your lovely bedroom. Oh, no, actually, barracks. Right. Because you are a pilgrim. So I'm going to leave this stuff in here in case I have another prisoner. And let's put that away. It looks like 120% is not enough. Bring it up to 125. I don't... Oh, it's these heaters. Wow. And the ambient temperature here... so this is like more heating than I think we need. It's like room temperature here. Way too warm. But it's properly designed for bait. Maybe one of these heaters will go... Go into the rec room. I don't need to add that many heaters to the zone. On top of that, I would like these heaters to be on a switch, because I don't necessarily want them on all the time. The switch is around here, going to be a little weird. Let's make it a little bit larger, and then smooth in the inside too. Just so the bugs have a much harder time breaking out of everywhere except for where the wooden walls are. Drawing them to the designated spot. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patron, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow stalwarts and pilgrims.